everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. It's Tuesday morning, actually it's not, it's Tuesday afternoon. I've lost all track of time today. I've been out for a little bit of sushi with my son. I've picked up my van which has been serviced and is running really well, so whether I'm going to sell it or not, I'm not 100% sure. And I'm going to go back to the shave that started traditional wet shaving for me, which is using products by Proraso. I believe these were the first products I used. This was actually the very first soap that I bought. Proraso Green, and as you can see, I've used this a few times, but there's still a shit ton of it left. So I'm really looking forward to using this. Now, I'm going to be using this brush today, which is the West Coast Shaving. I think this is a Topaz. These come in at around, so this is pretty much a budget shave as well, in essence, sort of. 20 American dollars. I think delivered to your door in America. Obviously you pay extra for shipping if you want it around the rest of the world. But it's a beautiful little brush, the knot's lovely, it's lovely and soft, lovely tips. It does splay probably too easily for me. I'm hardly pushing it all, there's no real backbone with it. But it's a lovely little brush, and it'll also be another one of the giveaway brushes, so this will be giveaway brush number 3. There will be another, hopefully another 2, depending what happens. I'm just going to wet my face a little bit. And I'm going to start off now with the Proraso Green Pre-Shave, which I think comes in at around $15 Australian for this little tub, but it lasts a long time. It's highly mentholated and it works wonders. And straight away it unblocks your nose and your eyes start feeling the vapour coming from the menthol. Now, one thing I like about this pre-shave, once you put it on and you actually put your hand in the water to actually rinse it off, it just comes off straight away. There's no oily residue, there's nothing left on your hands. So there's no actual real oil in it, I don't believe. It's more like a slick cream. It's a strange sort of sensation. The menthol is ice cold, which is lovely. I've dipped the brush already, but I'm just going to dip it back again. Just flick out a good part of the excess, and then straight into the dry soap, which if you've watched my channel long enough now, you know that I don't bloom my soaps. Now for those of you out there that haven't watched any of the channel or any of the videos before, blooming your soap is when you actually place water over the top of the soap and cover it completely, or even just a small layer of it just to soak in, and it actually softens the top layer of the soap and allows it probably a little easier to load. But I just find it's not necessary in most soaps, especially not high quality soaps. And Proraso, albeit a mass produced soap from a big brand, doesn't require soaking in my opinion. It's a very, very easy to work with soap, makes a lovely lather. So I think my plan with this is to sort of do a little bit of a tutorial on it. So let's see, I've added the pre-shave on here. I've dipped the brush in the water. All I do is dip it all the full way in. It's a synthetic brush, 24mm synthetic brush, and then I just flick out the excess by just shaking the brush until nothing's really coming out of it with a light flick. Then all I do is just keep dipping it in the water until I get the brush loaded up. And really, if you want to have a superb lather, that's how much you want in your brush. Some people out there will swirl it 10 times, or they'll use a very little amount of soap, but soap for me, even when it's 20-25 bucks a tub, is still pretty cheap. It lasts a long time, lasts a very long time. I've got over 60 or 70 tubs of soap now, probably enough to last me sort of the next 5-10 years if I didn't buy any more, which I most certainly will buy more. Right, just add a little bit of water on the face. Now, my skin is ice cold, lovely and cooled. It's not the best stuff to use, in all honesty, for the winter. We are sort of heading into our winter over here in Western Australia, so it's not the best stuff to use for now, but I love cooling. I love it cold anyway. I use cold water for my shaves, so when you take the cold water and mix in the menthol, it's beautiful. So all I do now, get my brush which is loaded up with the soap, and I just paint it on. And what you get left with is a really thick, just like a paste, almost like toothpaste. That's the consistency you want in your skin. Now what I do now is I take about from here up, I just dip that amount in the water and then paint that water or the wetness onto my face again. And what I'm aiming for is for the soap in my face right now, which is like the toothpaste, to go almost translucent, or to go translucent that I can see my skin through it. Now let me tell you, the menthol in this is phenomenal. And just keep dipping it. Keep dipping those tips and just painting it a few times over. And then dip it again. Now what this does is it prepares the brush, it gets enough moisture into the brush that when it's translucent on your face and you can actually see through it to your skin, that the brush is pretty much ready to splay and start creating a voluminous lather. A lather that's lovely and thick and creamy. Now the soaps and creams that you use will affect this, but it doesn't affect it that much. I find this technique works on pretty much every soap and cream that I have used. So you can see now it's starting to go translucent, you can see my skin through it. I'm not quite there yet, probably another 2 dips, maybe 1. Yeah, I would say we're pretty much there. So you can see now, it's sort of all over, even on the neck, on my cheeks and everything. It has gone pretty much translucent, you can see my skin. You can see there's quite a lot of moisture in the lather on the brush. So what I do now, because all this stuff around here, around the base of the knot, so your knot is your actual fibres of your hairs, all this stuff here, what I do is I just generally either scoop it onto my chin. It's normally my chin when I've not got a goatee or anything like that. So it'll look like that. Your brush is now pretty much clean and you can now splay it straight away. It'll just splay because you've got so much moisture in the tips now. And this is quite an easy to splay knot anyway. And all I do is just work round about this. I don't really touch this part yet. I just try and work around it. And then what I do is I'll just take a little bit, paint it on, and then I'll work that into the lather as well. Take a bit, paint it on, and just work it in. Now there's not much left on my chin now, so I can actually scoop it all in, and then you'll just see the magic work. Just backwards and forth motions if you prefer to sort of swirl. I find personally, for some reason with synthetics, that works better, backwards and forwards motion. With natural hair brushes they recommend backwards and forwards motions, but I find it works better swirling it. It's just personal preference. And the actual knot type as well. If you're using a horsehair knot, which I will do eventually a sort of lather tutorial within the horsehair knot, it doesn't work very good. Well, it does when you swirl it, but what happens is all the hairs in here get tangled. So as you can see, I haven't added any more water at all to my lather. It's still building because you can see it all down here. And to be honest with you, it's still actually a little bit dry. So all I do then is just same again, just paint some water in. So that was 2 dips of the tips. It's actually a very, very nice knot, this, I have to say. It is quite soft, it doesn't have a lot of backbone, but it's got quite a bit of scrub, which is nice. Now look at the amount of lather that I'm getting down there. So what we'll do here is what I normally do is scoop up from the bottom. You just literally paint it up onto your face. Just like that. Now there's too much down here because I don't really have any hair down there. Scoop that off with your thumb or your finger or whatever's easier for you. And then it's just a case of painting it on. And you can't argue with that. Now that technique with a lather will work for anyone. That's not a special lather. I've got terrible water over here. Water's very hard. It's just a horrible water. And I can get a lather like that. It's phenomenal. It really is. It's creamy, it's thick, it's dense. And I know that Proraso is quite a slick, quite a good performing soap. And there we go. Now the soap itself over here in Australia is about $12. You can get it from Beard and Blade, you can pick it up from the shaver shop, a few places over here. It's one of the cheapest soaps out there. It lasts a while, smells great, works great. It does have a barbershop menthol type scent, it's really nice. And as you can see, the lathers are superb. Razor for today is the Mueller R89, and it's got I've got a second juice blade in here. Now the blade that I've got in here, it's a 3-piece razor. You take the handle off, take the base off, top cap and the blade. Now the blade that's in there is a Gillette 7 o'clock super stainless, which if you're not aware is the Gillette 7 o'clock green. So it's a Gillette blade, and you'll notice it's a green packet. I think it's the only one that comes in the green packet from Gillette. And let's see how we go. My face is ice cold at the moment. Took a lot longer to make that lather, but I just wanted to really emphasise how simple it is to make a lather with pretty much any soap or cream using that technique. And here we go. So what you want to do with the razor, got the blade loaded in, it's double-sided, 2 edges. Pretty much put it on your face flat, like so. See if I can get that right angle. And then all you do is just tilt it a little bit and pull it down. And you'll get most of the hair off in that first pull. Now one of the main things with this style of shaving really is not to put any pressure on your face. So you literally lay the head on your skin and just let it fall down. Try not to press on it. What can happen is that when you press, you might not cut yourself, but you are actually really digging into your skin. You cause a lot of irritation, a lot of redness, and it can hurt afterwards. Trust me, it'll hurt. Put some alcohol-based aftershave or something on there and it's going to burn. And so front of the nose, it's the exact same. Just literally put it on. I put it on flat, sort of up at just a slight angle, and just pull it down and scoop. Same again. Stretch your skin by going, or pretty much opening your mouth, pulling your lip down. Now if you've never used a double-edged razor before, which this is, also called a safety razor, if you've never used one before, this one in particular, the R89 from Mueller, is a sort of mild to medium aggressive razor. It's very smooth, it's very comfortable. It works for me with a lot of blades, a lot of different blades, whether they be expensive blades or cheap blades. They're all cheap anyway at the end of the day. But this one works very well. This was a gift from my wife. It's probably the cheapest razor in the den that's been purchased within my household. A lot of stuff has been sent to me very kindly from people around the world. Cheapest razor that I actually own, which I didn't pay for, was the MJ90 from Razor Rock. Even the A-plate I didn't pay for, it was sent to me from a very kind gentleman over in Ohio. And it comes in at $40 American, I think, which is roughly what this is in American. This is $60 Australian. It's a very, very nice shaver. So if you're looking to get into this type of shaving, I highly recommend it. I was a police officer for 8 years. I hated shaving, hated it. And 2 years ago, in June 2016, it might actually have been May, late May, I went to the barber to get a traditional wet shave with a hot towel and all that, get the whole experience of it. And it was the worst shave I ever had, and I really hated it. I was red raw for days, and my skin was it was just ruined. I didn't grow in hairs, I had all sorts. I thought, this just can't be it. This can't be the be all and end all of shaving. I know I have to do it. So I did a bit of research, just looking around on eBay, not eBay, just on Google sort of thing. And it brought up traditional wet shaving, safety razors, straight razors, and I looked at straight razor shaving and I thought, you know, it's just not for me. It looks a little bit cumbersome, a little bit too time consuming, and that was when I found safety razors, double edge razors, single edge razors. So here we go for lather number 2. All I do is same again, scoop all that excess right on the chin and then straight onto the face with the brush, and it'll splay pretty easily now because it's already sort of got that softer, wetter lather inside the brush. You just take a little bit out of the brush and just add it in. Same again. This is going to need a bit of water, so just dip the whole brush. At this point I dip the whole thing in, the whole length of it, then paint it all in. And then just splay it again. And you'll see down here, it's starting to grow. Now Proraso isn't the best lathering soap on the world, it's really not. It's not the best feeling soap, it's not the most dense, creamiest. But it's good stuff. And it's cheap. It's got good products in it, it's good, it's relatively good for your skin. But the main thing with this stuff is it's readily available for everyone. You're not waiting on artisans with massive sort of cult followings. That make the soaps really expensive. Worth it in my opinion, a lot of them. But you don't have to spend a fortune to really enjoy this hobby. I'm an addictive person when it comes to stuff like this. And I absolutely love it. And I love spending money on things that are high quality, artisan made, artisan soaps, artisan anything. I just love it, I think it's great. So here we go. What I do now, so that was with the grain, that whole first pass, so that was basically from north to south. Now we'll be going from sort of, well, it's my east to west, but as you're looking at it, I think it might be west east, I'm not sure, but I generally hold it with 2 fingers on the top, thumb on the bottom. Oh, there we go, third one's just added in, and it's just a light sideways motion now. If you puff out your cheek, it's what it does is it actually pops the hair up a little bit more and you get a little bit closer shave. Right, now this part here, the lips, top and bottom lip obviously, some people might not have a top and bottom lip, but top and bottom lips generally, because most people have them. There's 2 ways that I do it and 2 ways it can be done generally when you're going across the grain. This way I'll do it my normal way, and another way I'll do it another way. So what I do generally is I'll come in from the side and I'll just go straight across both lips, and what I do is actually push a little bit of air like that and just come straight across the lips like this. Now what I'm actually doing here is I'm catching sort of right on the rim there of your lip and right on the top rim. And what I'm doing is I'm coming across as a motion called buffing. So what I'm actually doing is buffing just little short movements over the same area all the way across until I get to the other side. Then I buff just on the edge in the corner here because this is quite a hard bit to get hair from sometimes. And what I do is I stick out my tongue a little bit like that. And I just sort of edge my way across that, and then I just buff a little bit all the way over to the other ear. And that's that done, and then I'll do it the other way, but I'll do it slightly different the other tip next time. So from here, now one thing you have to bear in mind when you watch either my tutorials or anyone else's tutorials for double edge shaving, safety razor shaving, is everyone's skin is different, everyone's hair grows in a different direction, so the way I shave will be totally different to the way you should shave. Basically what I do is I shave with the grain, or should I say from north to south I should call it, because on my neck my hair grows across, up, sideways, all over the place. So now that I'm coming down this way, what I actually do is I come from this side, and you'll hear the difference in the feedback. Hear it? So what's actually happening there is my hair pretty much grows down here, but it grows at a slight angle down this way, under here, all the way around to about here, and then my hair starts growing this way. So let's say everyone's hair grows in different directions in different ways, and it's about mapping your face and finding out roughly what way the hair grows on your skin or on your face or your neck or wherever. Because that can have a massive, massive effect on how good your shave is. Because if you start off and you've got probably 2 or 3 days growth and you just jump straight into against the grain, you can cause a lot of issues and a lot of irritation. Some people don't, some people have just got tough skin and the hairs just come off with no pain or anything. Now, if you watch my channel long enough, you'll know that I don't generally go against the grain anywhere other than round here. And it's pretty much against the grain all round here. But the rest of it, a little bit sometimes up here and on the side, it's against the grain here. The rest of it is just across. So with the grain and across the grain, because it actually causes me quite a bit of pain to go against the grain. So one of my main things for people when they start out is if you're going to do against the grain, give it a go. If it hurts, just stop. Do with the grain and do across the grain like I do. You've still got a very close, very comfortable, pretty much what they call a DFS shave, a damn fine shave, which is the next one up from, or the next one down from, a BBS, which is a baby butt smooth shave. And that's when there's just literally no hair on your face at all. You can't feel anything in any direction. So DFS is what I aim for, a damn fine shave, and I can't grumble with it. I very rarely get ingrown hairs, I very rarely get any bad irritation. I can get anywhere from 12 to 18 hours without feeling too much growth at all. So I can shave at night and then go to work the following morning and still get through a full day without any real growth showing. So it's a very efficient way of shaving, it's a very comfortable way of shaving, it's a very enjoyable, relaxing way of shaving. So here we go for the third and final lather, which will then be followed up by a little touch up around my lips. Now there's not much soap around here now, but I can still scoop that a little bit on there and back into this. Now as you can see, it's a little bit thinner, there's not much happening. Now I know if I dip the tips here, it will grow a little bit more and it will explode a little bit more. There's enough in this brush at the moment for me to get another voluminous, lovely creamy lather again, as I did with the first two. Same again, I'll just scoop half of that into the little bit there and add it to this side of my face, and then with this one to this side. Now, because this is a soft, sort of, it's got a light scrub, but it's not a scritchy, a scratchy or a scrubby knot in terms of real scrub, you can really give it some welly, even though I've shaved twice now and I've irritated my skin a little bit from shaving. It's not a painful irritation, but shaving irritates your skin anyway. So you can give it a little bit. Now this can take a bit more water actually, so just dip the tips again. And there we go, so there's enough soap on my face now for a complete, lovely, creamy pass again. So you can see from this ladder, from these three ladders, that you don't need to spend in excess of $20 on a soap to get a luxurious shave. You really don't. This soap, for the cost, for how easy it works, and look how much lather's left on that brush, is worth every cent. And if it's your first ever soap, I'm pretty confident you would become addicted to the hobby if you can get to terms with using one of these, or whatever your style of razor was that you started with. Personally, if I was going into traditional wet shaving, which this is your best bet to start. Maybe even a single edge, like an old gem razor, or any of the latest models like the Sabre or anything like that, where it's a new model gem style razor, which is a single edge razor. The blade looks a bit like a box cutter blade. So if that's the way you go, brilliant, because they're quite mild, they're nice to use, they're comfortable, and you get good results. They're good for head shavers as well. But this for me is the ideal way to start. There's hundreds of different blades out there to try and get through. They're not expensive, you can buy sample packs and all. So once you find what works for you, you can stick to that set for as long as you want, and you'll get great shaves, I can assure you, and you'll get enjoyable shaves. Generally when you turn to this type of shaving, you start to enjoy your shaving again. I love to shave now. Madness, absolute madness. I enjoy shaving, but I really do enjoy it. It's a release for me, it's relaxing, it just takes me away from everything. And more so with this channel now that I do, it just gives me a place where I can offload my shit and everyone listens, and you get good feedback, you get bad feedback, you get negative comments, you get thumbs up, you get thumbs down, you get a piece of everything, and it just makes it so much more enjoyable that you've got that interaction with others around the world with the same sort of love for shaving. So here we go with the Mueller R89. So I always stick with my right hand. I don't use my left hand generally for anything unless I use a Chevette, which I don't use anymore. So right hand, and all I do is same again, I'm coming across the grain this way. Right, so the other technique for coming across your lips is just to split them in two. So from the bottom one, puff it out with your tongue. Very smooth razor, very smooth blade. They're excellent blades. If you want to try blades, which I highly recommend, pretty much everything by Gillette. Gillette Nassets, Gillette Silver Blues, Gillette Platinums, Gillette 7 o'clock Greens, Gillette, just the Gillette blades are excellent. Other than the Gillette Go, which I've tried, which are pretty average, Gillette Rubies are tremendous blades. I need to get some more of them actually. And so the top lip, just the same again. Puff it out with the air. And all I'm using, you can see where the lather is, I'm only using that top part of the blade to come across. Lovely. Now, because of the way my hair grows down here, from sort of this area here, I go this way. So, and you hear the feedback. So that there is BBS for me, because that's actually against the grain. And like I said before, BBS is baby butt smooth, there's no feeling of hair, so I'm getting no feeling of hair there, it's just smooth skin in all directions. And it feels amazing. I get it on my head when I do my head shaves, and if you can get an against the grain, which is when you're shaving against the grain where it's actually growing, you'll get a BBS shave and it feels phenomenal. Now, I go against this way now again, same again, cross grain, slight angle on the head so that I'm catching a little bit more. So you hear a little bit more feedback. And then straight down on these ones. Now my hair, sort of from here down, grows mainly this way, but it grows all over the place like a starfish they call it, where your hair just grows left, right, up, down, doesn't matter, it just grows everywhere. And that's a superb shave, it really is. And it is as simple as that. It's not, you know, your first few are always the toughest. And all I'm doing in between passes when I've got it off, I just dip my fingertips in the water and just rub the water on my face and leave as much of the soap on there. And what that does is it gives you residual slickness. Now residual slickness is basically enough slickness on your face that you can run a razor over it and it doesn't judder. This soap gives you that. Lovely. So that's on my skin, but it just glides so the blade just glides over your skin even though there's no soap or anything protection on there other than slickness. So it is a very, very good soap for that as well. This, I have to say, is probably the best lather I've gotten from Proraso, and it's basically since I've tuned in my lathering technique, as I explained through this video, how I lather and how I've created my own way of doing it. Now I learned everything from watching everyone else in the beginning, and you sort of find your own way with it, and that was basically my way that I found through watching all these other techniques, and to paint it on until it goes translucent, and then you can spray your brush, and it's just a case of adding a little bit more water every now and then, and you'll get an amazing lather. You really will, and I can guarantee for anyone out there it will work in pretty much any soap and cream out there. If it lathers, you'll get a good lather generally, unless it's a real shit creamer soap. So all I do now is just round here, I go against the grain a little bit on here, and I just touch up around my lip just a little bit closer, and that's me done. Right, so we get the razor now, and what I'm doing now is I hold the razor upside down, and I'm actually going to go up against the grain. So my hair grows down from my lips here and on the sides and the top lip, and I'm actually going to come up against it. So puff out again like that, and then we come up. And you can't ask for much more than that, really. You really can't. Now, one thing you have to pay attention with your razor itself is, depending what razor you go for, these are 60 Australian dollars. You can pick up razors for way cheaper than that. Way cheaper. If you just want to try it from China, or even from a lot of the stores over here, you'll pick up cheaper razors from Shaver Shop for 20-30 bucks. They all do a similar thing, but some are they're just not made equal. So these ones are made pretty well. Your premium handmade artisan ones that generally will give you a better shave a lot of the times, if they work for you. Some people they don't work for, so sometimes it's about finding the razor that works best for you, and sometimes it's best to start with something mild and medium, which this one is, and then basically every razor's got its own angle. So it's easy for me to tell you how to use this one and show you a little bit how to actually use it, but every razor angle could be steeper, it could be shallower, it could be anything, you know. It just depends what works best for that razor, what works best for your growth, your skin, and the way it goes. I can only give you an idea of how to use it. It all comes down to personal preference on the razor weight, the length of the handle, the head type, how big the blade gap is in terms of how aggressive the razor is. And there's just so much, it's endless, it really is endless, and it can take you a while. So what my personal recommendation, and the thing I generally recommend to people, is to actually get hold of an adjustable razor. One that I highly recommend would be the Rockwell 6C, which is 50 American dollars, I think it's 100 Australian. And it's a phenomenal razor, it's very smooth. You've got 6 different levels of efficiency or aggression that you can make your way through. You start off at 1, which is pretty much useless in my opinion, but you can start off at 1. You won't probably cut yourself with 1, but you won't cut much hair either. Move up to 2 for the next shave, and then if that's not enough, 3, and then you can move backwards and forwards. You can figure out something that works best for you. If you buy this, you get this, that's it. You get 1 level of aggression or efficiency, and that's all you've got to work with. So my personal opinion, if you're starting out, is to use an adjustable razor, a razor with settings that you can then pick what works best for you. Now I'm just going to finish off now with some Proraso green. Now the Proraso green aftershave is very, very nice. Comes in 100 mils, 3.4 fluid ounces. It's really mentholated, good kick of alcohol in there for the burn. It helps sort of heal any little cuts and nicks that you've got. Got a lovely barbershop, powdery sort of scent, and it's got a lovely burn to it. The menthol kicks in, it lasts for probably 5 minutes, the menthol, and it's excellent. And you're looking about 25 Australian dollars for that splash. So all up for this set I've used today, you're looking just over 100 Australian dollars, but it's going to last you a long time. The razor and brush itself will probably last you your lifetime of shaving if you just wanted to buy 2 items. That brush and razor will last you pretty much your whole lifetime of shaving. And when you look at how much a blade is, you can pick up 100 blades for anywhere between $10 and $20. A blade will last you anywhere between 3 and 6 shaves if you use them that much. I use a blade generally for 1 or 2 shaves and chuck them because they are so cheap. And yeah, it's really highly recommend anyone just to give it a go. Now, if this is the first time you've watched my channel, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the notification button. I think I've done over 600 videos in less than 2 years, so I'm highly dedicated to my channel. I'm highly dedicated to honesty and using products and giving you my honest feedback on them. If something's not right or it's not good, I'll tell you it's not right or it's not good. And if it is good, I'll let you know. And generally, I would say 99% of the time when people buy something that I've recommended being good, I generally get feedback that they've got it and it's excellent. So that's all I can say. You get honesty on the channel, you get me as I am and who I am, and sometimes that's worth quite a bit in this sort of industry where you're buying a lot of products and you just need that little bit of reliability from someone that's using it. And I think personally you get that from myself. There's other YouTubers out there that give it as well, but there's also people out there that just everything just seems to be amazing and it's the greatest stuff ever. It doesn't matter what it is, and that can be a little bit misleading for people. So you will get honesty on this channel and you'll get it bluntly and you'll get exactly what I think about things. So I've used this today, which is Proraso green, which is menthol, Proraso menthol. Comes in a little tub. I'm not sure how heavy is it, 150, so it's 5.2 ounces, so that's a lot of soap. Your average artisan will give you 4 ounces generally. There's very few that go above 4, and then you've got things like Sterling that give 5.8 ounces and stuff like that. But 5.2 ounces is a lot of soap. That'll last you a long time. You'll get probably 60 shaves out of this, 60, 70 shaves out of this one tub. And it's good. It's not crap out, goo out a can. The brush itself, I'm just going to rinse that out now. So the brush is, it's not made by West Coast Shaving, but it is commissioned by West Coast Shaving. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure this probably comes from Yahtzee in China. Because they do very similar stuff all the time. Now, I don't personally buy from Yahtzee in Australia and China, but I will purchase from companies that I like dealing with that do a good job and have awesome customer service. And I'd rather give them the money and pay a bit more and they make a bit of money on it than just give it to someone that I don't believe in their way of the way they advertise and the way they do business. But that's the brush there. It is in the Stone collection from West Coast Shaving. They are $19.95 at the moment on special, and it's a tremendous brush. It is awesome, really nice. This one in particular, I've used it a few times now, but this one will actually be going into one of my giveaways for my 2,000 subscriber giveaway. There will be another 2 brushes revealed at some point along the way. So there should be, hopefully, 5 brushes, 5 soaps, blades, and I'm not quite sure if there's anything else yet. It's going to cost a hell of a lot in shipping. It's costed a hell of a lot just in purchasing items as well. So I'm hoping it's going to be quite an epic giveaway, and it's only 2,000 subscribers, so I can only really look up now. I can't really downgrade things as I go along, but we'll see how we go. Proraso pre-shave as well, excellent stuff, really great, lasts a long time. Kevy Shaves actually uses one of these as his soaker for a lot of his brushes. I don't know how he got through a whole tub of that so quickly. And the razor for today was the Mueller R89, which is a stunning little razor. It's well built. The head's designed in collaboration with Edwin Jagger, who make the DE89, so they've got the same sort of name, the 89 in there. And I find that Mueller is a much better shaver than the Edwin Jagger. That's just my personal preference and opinion on it. And we finished off today with Proraso Green Aftershave Splash, which is superb. Scent doesn't last long, which is nice because you can put something else on. Post shave feel is superb. So I've got a lot of moisture in there, my skin feels silky smooth. I've got no real standout irritation, it just feels great. I had a little weeper over here. And other than that, a great shave, and I hope you learned something from it. I hope you got something from it. This has been 2 years in the making of becoming who I am on this channel and getting to a level where I can really shave effortlessly now with making the lather and using any razor that gets put in my hand pretty much. And doesn't matter who you are, you can pick this way of shaving up, and I'm pretty certain that you'll enjoy it, and it'll not take over your life, but it'll give you some form of enjoyment out of something that most men take as a chore and actually hate doing. So other than that, hit the like button, subscribe, stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Cheers.